Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family, friends, and foes. What's good, good people? I welcome you back again to another podcast presentation of Yosef's 2 Cents. I'm your man, Yosef X, and tonight I want to talk about a very important thesis. A thesis that has been the talk of the internet streets, and it has certainly sparked a firestorm of controversy in the melanated community, and that has been forced to raise a question. Is Dr. Umar Johnson a male feminist? Sit back, unwind, and relax, and let us do what we always do, sit down and reason together. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few moments. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gents, again to another podcast presentation of Yosef's 2 Cents. I am your man, Yosef X, and I hope that you have had a very peaceful, productive, blessed, safe Sunday. And I hope you are having a fantastic Sunday evening. Let us see who we have. I see a longtime friend that I hadn't seen in a minute. Let's see. On YouTube side, we have Brother Sam with us. Peace and blessings to you, my brother. And I hope everything is well with you and your family. Thanks for joining the fray tonight. Brother Barron, good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us tonight. The lovely Marla, good evening to you as well, sweetheart. Thank you for joining us as well. And there is my homeboy that I haven't seen in a long time, Brother Osmali. What's going on, bro? Thanks for joining us tonight. He says, yeah, long time, bro. And yeah, Umar Simpson is a male feminist. How else is he going to keep his pockets filled and bills paid? He has to tell black women what they want to hear. If I was making money then, I would lie to them too. You know, a lot of people, man, are saying the very exact same thing. And I have to be honest with you. I'm assuming the very same thing. I am assuming the very same thing. Appreciate it, Brother Barron. I had a busy day, but it was all good. I didn't have any problems or any setbacks at all. So all is well. All right, folks. I might as well go ahead and get right into it. There's no need of me beating around the bush. On June 21st, which was a couple of weeks ago, there was an interview conducted featured renowned intellectual juggernaut, one Dr. Umar Johnson. And recently he was on the platform with the Daily Rap crew. And shout out to those gentlemen for having him on. And I'm not going to even lie to you. I have to be honest with you. I'm very, very disappointed. But am I surprised? Hardly. I am hardly surprised. Now, let me do this right quick. And put this up. Fair Use Act, 1976. Now, here's the thing. I only saw maybe less than an hour. Yeah, it was less than an hour of this entire interview with Dr. Umar Johnson. The interview itself, ladies and gentlemen, is 2 hours long. I only saw, like I said, I only saw less than an hour of it. I did not see the entire interview where things really got heated between Dr. Johnson and the gentleman on the Daily Wrap Up crew, excuse me. But however, I have seen the shorts on YouTube. Yes, I have. I have seen the shorts, and needless to say, I'm very, very disappointed. Let me get to your observations right quick. Brother Sam says, I totally agree. Brother Lee says, I saw that interview, the craziest doctrine he ever said. Yeah, you know, like I said, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised. Now, here's the reason why I am disappointed, but not surprised. And I have to remind myself of this as well, just like I'm getting ready to share this with you. The fact is, on social media, you can be anything you want to. It does not matter. because most people on social media, they have aliases. They are not who they portray to be in front of the cameras. When they are away from the cameras and when they are away from the bright lights, guess what? They are not who they are. They are totally different people. You could say that the people that portray themselves to be whatever it is that they portray to be on social media is their alter ego. And the persons behind the microphone or away from the microphone, away from the cameras, away from the bright lights, guess what? That is exactly who they are behind the scenes. Okay. You also have to keep in mind as well, right? You also have to keep in mind that a lot of these YouTubers, a lot of these social media influencers, sometimes they say things for shock value. Yeah, they say things and they do things for shock value to keep themselves relevant. When I keep telling you that social media is not real, believe me, it is not real. Now, sometimes certain things will happen that is real and it is legitimate. However, at the end of the day, guess what? Social media is still social media and it's not real. Point blank, period. And so, what I'm getting ready to do is share it with you. But before I do, let me acknowledge Brother Lee's observations. He says his statements was so crazy, I had to shut it off. My ears couldn't take it anymore. He used big words to sound intelligent while at the same time making zero sense. He even contradicts himself. You're hitting on some very important facts, Brother Lee, and I'm going to delve into this in just a few moments. But meanwhile, let me set this up. Let me share this right quick. I want you to listen to this very carefully. Now, I don't own any of this. It belongs to the proprietors of these channels, and it belongs to them alone. I'm just playing this under the Fair Use Act of 1976 for your education, because I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going to offer you, the viewers, my 2 cents. And so, without further ado, let's go. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Hold on here. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Hold on here. Okay. All right. Let's see here what we got. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Surprise, surprise. I'm learning as I go along how to use this software. All right. All right. Here we go. Pay attention. Once again, I'm sharing this on the Fair Use Act of 76. All right. Here we go.
I've seen a video of yours where you said that feminism has conditioned black women to view black men as the enemy.
Feminism was financed by the CIA, but Gloria Steinem was a CIA agent. The CIA brought feminism into the white household to get the woman out the house and into the black household to turn the black woman against the black man. So when the black woman says, I don't need a man, that is a reaction to the reality that I may not get a man. And
hold on right there. Let's stop. Just a minute. Hold on. Hold on. All right. First off, remember what I said some time ago, right? That we all have the power of choice. Y'all do remember me saying this to you, right? You all do remember me telling you that we have the power of choice. The same universal law applies here and now. Nobody, but nobody, put a gun to a melanated woman's head and forced her to kick the father out the house. Right? Nobody forced them. Right? And since nobody forced them to do this, right? Please, sir, and please, ma'am, explain to me why in the world would a melanated woman say that they don't need no man in the first place? Because it was the influence of the Feminist Manifesto which influenced them to start thinking, foolishly thinking, and deceiving themselves. I don't need no man. I don't need no man. Nobody put a gun to their head and told them to do that nonsense. Now, did they? No. And allow me to also quote myself last week. Not just last week, but what I've said in the past. And I am going to be purposely redundant tonight because, look, Dr. King was assassinated on April the 4th, 1968, right? 2 years after Dr. King's assassination, when did we all begin to see the rise of the single parent household? 1970. Because they began to deindustrialize the melanated family, meaning they took the melanated father out the house. Right? And because they took the melanated father out the house, unfortunately, the end result of it is, guess what? We are seeing a domino effect of breakdowns, meltdowns, shakedowns, and takedowns because people have been foolishly low down and deceiving themselves and other people. Let's continue.
And why is she going to end up with a poor mate? Because we as black men are not raising black boys to be the men that our women need.
Wow.
Because black men have abandoned black boys and have allowed social media, white media, athletes, and rappers to raise them. If we're going to be men,
I'll let
the first thing we got to do is take responsibility for why our women feel the way they feel.
I can hear that.
Speaking.
All right. First and foremost, the melanated man did not abandon the children. Let's get that clear. Hear me good. Hear me good. The melanated father never abandoned his children. The melanated father was raped from his children at the hands of the chocolate-covered Klanswoman by being in league with Big Daddy government. Come on. Come on now. Come on. The melanated father has always been in the life of his children. The same ones, the same fathers, the same kind of honorable men that was kicked out unceremoniously out of his own house. We have always been looked upon collectively, I mean, as dusty, broke, lame, not gangster enough. All of the ad hominem attacks that has been hurled at us for a long time. Right? So here's the deal. And I find it also foolish that why is it our responsibility to raise black boys? Especially if those black boys are not our own. It is the father's responsibility to raise his sons. Have y'all ever noticed that when somebody else does some dumb-ish and they do it with such Machiavellian tactics, they do it with such Machiavellian tactician or Machiavellian ways? Have y'all ever noticed that once again, they use the melanated man as a scapegoat? Have y'all noticed this? Have y'all noticed this? Huh? Have y'all really noticed this? I'm going to get to your observations in just a second. And see, what's happening is that because the melanated man, the honorable melanated man, that's not a drug dealer, that's not a thug, that's not a hoodlum, that's not a ruffian, that's not a brute, the one that is well-spoken, well-articulated, well-versed, well-schooled, has walked away from a community that has no regard and no respect for them. They weren't expecting it. They were not expecting that kind of backlash. And now that they are not or have not been expecting that kind of backlash, guess what? Now they're trying to guilt shame collectively melanated men into coming back onto the plantation. And now that they see it's not working, they're calling themselves trying to do everything they can. Right? They call themselves trying to do everything they can to shame the melanated man into coming back. All right. Now, let's observe your observations. Now, Brother Barron says that's correct. Brother Lee says that's true. Everyone has the power of choice. Absolutely. Brother Sam concurs. He continues. The power is in the government's pocket. Precisely. And because they know for a fact, meaning the compromised melanated woman knows that the power is in the pocket of the government, that's why they began to prostitute themselves and sold the melanated family out. Brother Lee says because the offer they gave her, she couldn't resist. Free housing, free food stamps, free everything. Yeah. And see, here's the thing. This is how foolish they have been for a long time. Pay attention. They've been foolish for so long, they fail to understand that when it comes down to government funded assistance, you are not supposed to live off of it. You're supposed to use it as a stepping stone to get back on your feet until you are able to become self-sufficient again. I'll wait. Matter of fact, let me drink my alkaline water. Let that percolate for a moment. You're not supposed to use government funded assistance to live off of. You use it as a stepping stone until you are able to be self-sufficient again. Y'all with me so far, right? All right. Brother Lee raises a question. He asks, so who raised the black men to become doctors, lawyers, engineers, etc.? Rappers didn't raise them and athletes didn't influence them. They didn't want those men in the community. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. And Brother Sam brings up a very valid and a very important point. He says the black men broke off the relationship with the mother, not his child. Let me put that up. The black man broke off the relationship with the mother, not his child. And the reason why he did that was because the father understood that the mother was compromised. She wound up being a bad selection, a bad mating selection. And now he unfortunately began to suffer the ill effects of it, the backlash for his poor choice of a mate. Brother Lee says the doctors, lawyers, and engineers and blue collar workers are considered lame. Laugh out loud. So rappers can't influence them. And you know what's so sickening about this? The very same men that are in these fields of human endeavor, we're the same ones that makes the world go round. In order for the world to continue on going the way it has been going, guess what? They need us lames. See, Brother Barron says, and thought those child support checks was going to make them rich. Yes, sir. They were used. Boy, it's as clear as day. It's as clear as day. 1968, Dr. King gets assassinated. 2 years later, we see the rise of the single parent household. 1970, they began to deindustrialize the melanated family, kicking the father out the house, but not only kicking the father out the house, but not allowing him to work with his hands and to work in the factories, because by the time they reached a certain age, they could retire real good and not have to worry about getting a high school diploma or PhD. So when the melanated man was forced out of the industrial industry because they started shutting down the plants, this was the genesis, or the very beginning, along with the melanated chocolate clanswoman selling out the melanated man. That's when we began to see all of these social ills and the ill effects of the horrible choices made. Spot on. Brother Barron says yes. Brother Lee says always. And Brother Lee also concurs. All right. So, as we delve, right, a bit further, right, as we delve, just a bit further, right, there's also something else I want to share with y'all. See, I'm going to try and be as thorough about this as much as I can. Now, before I play this, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, just a second. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Hold on. Hold on just a second. Let me put this up once again, just to let all of you know that I do not own the copyrights to any of the intellectual property shared therein. No, 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 no. I am playing this under the Fair Use Act of 1976 for your education. I do not own any of this. I'm making a point. You see? All right. Here we go. I want you all to see this for yourselves. Not only do I want you to see this for yourselves, I want you to hear it for yourselves too. Just so you know for a fact that your brother ain't making this ish up. All right. Let's see. All right. Let's see what Dr. Johnson got to say now. Here we go.
Not humble enough. She had to become masculine to survive the rape, the molestation, the domestic abuse. Are you telling me you can't see how we created that?
I understand that, but she needs
If
to
we
be
was
more
loving
selective.
our women and taking care of our women, do you think she would be like that? That personality has a history. We say she's not humble enough.
See, once again, once again, everything that Dr. Johnson is accusing the melanated man of not doing, we have done that. We have prayed for our women. We have prayed with our women. We have tried to counsel our women. We have tried to love them. We have tried to be patient with them for over 50 damn years. We have tried. We have tried our best to do all of these things for 50 doggone years, bruh. For 50 years, we have tried to love our women, pray for our women, pray with our women, to be patient with our women, to let them know that we are there for them. Since they did not appreciate us and value us the way we have valued them, it took us 5 damn decades to say, to hell with this, we're gone. And it all goes back to what I said earlier. They were not expecting for the melanated man to deliver a backlash. Now these women are desperate and they're frightened and they're scared to death. They are no longer preaching and singing and teaching the gospel of, I don't need no man. I'm strong and independent. We're not hearing that now. What we are eyewitnesses to, we are eyewitnesses to these women being scared to death of dying alone. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're scared. They're frightened. Let me tell you just how desperate they have really begotten. They've become. Let me acknowledge Brother Barron. He says the humans are at a disadvantage. Brother Lee says they chose to die alone when they chose feminism. Gentlemen, both of you are correct. And mind you, we are eyewitnesses to everything that's going on. We are eyewitnesses to the decline of not only society, to not only the family structure and the family unit, we are also eyewitnesses to the decline and the very deterioration of the psychological apparatus and the psychological hygiene, as well as the emotional hygiene and emotional apparatus of these dames. We, for 50 blasted years, have tried everything to do to keep this from happening. But we reached the point, the breaking point within ourselves. And we came to the painful realization that there is no hope or help or salvation for these dames because they made the choice to be in the position that they are in. Gentlemen, let me ask a question. Let me ask y'all a question. Would you like for me to share with you just how bad it's really gotten for these dames? If so, put a number 1 in the chat, in the comment thread. If you really want me to share with you just how bad it's gotten for these dames, just how desperate they have become in wanting a relationship and in marriage, how badly they want it. Lady Marla, I forgot you were with us. My apologies, dear. Let me tell you just how bad it's gotten. Okay. Brother Lee wants to know. Marla wants to know. All right. Brother Barron. Brother say, all right, okay. All right. Let me tell you just how bad it's gotten. Out to the young lady, Mrs. Danica Marie. I had a chance to listen to the podcast while at work today. This is how bad it's gotten for these dames. It's gotten so bad. They have become so desperate for a man. They have now started reaching out to prison inmates. Let me drink my water. You heard me. They have started to reach out. They have started to reach out to prison inmates, calling them prison bays. You heard me. Prison bays. And guess what? As the late great Billy Mays used to say, but wait, there's more. Guess what? There's more. One of them actually got pregnant. Guess what? By a prison bae. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. These women have become so desperate for a man in their life. They are so desperate to get married. They're reaching out to prison inmates. And if my memory serves me correct, I think Lady Marla and I had a conversation about that a few weeks ago. But it's gotten bad out here, man. It's gotten horrible out here. That's true. Listen, after 50 years of praying, patience, trying to hold on, right? The melanated man has said, to hell with it, I'm done. And he's not saying to hell with his children. He's saying to hell with the mother, because the mother ain't worth a damn. Y'all are reaching out to prisoners. Oh, and when you reach out to prisoners, right? Do you not realize that when you have sexual intercourse with a prisoner, you do realize that there is a high risk of you transmitting an STI or an STD. And among the most dangerous STIs and STD is either the HIV virus or full-blown AIDS. because there's a lot of dudes that's on the down low and they are having homosexual sex in these prisons. Daniel P., what's going on, bro? Thanks for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. Yes, we did. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate it. I was thinking about, I was listening. Yeah. Lee, you a trip, man. Oh, Lord. Brother Lee says they are reaching out to 3-time felony Tyrone and his homeboy, drug dealing Darnell, with his cousin, AK-47 Entree. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Oh, my word. Oh, boy. Oh, God. Brother Lee says, laugh my ass off. The same men that sold drugs in the hood are now reaching out to the same men that committed all the crimes in the black community. See? See? Once again. See? I want y'all to pay attention. Here's something else too. And I'm getting ready to share another piece of evidence that Dr. Umar Johnson has been speaking. All right. But watch this. Pay attention to this. Okay. Here's the deal. The melanated woman, right, that has been compromised, right? They were expecting for the melanated man to always be there forever. But now, melanated men are now saying, to hell with you, woman. I'm sick and tired of not being loved, valued, and respected. I'm going to get to your observation in just a minute, Daniel P. Just give me a few minutes. The melanated man that is full of honor and integrity, these melanated women, these compromised melanated women, these chocolate-covered clans women, they were not expecting a backlash of this magnitude. And now they're scared to death. They're scared. They're frightened. They're intimidated. They don't know what the hell in fact to do. They have no idea. They have absolutely no idea what to do. They are scared to death. The toxic woman, the chocolate-covered clans women were not expecting a backlash. They were not expecting a backlash. Not at all. And notice just how expeditiously the backlash is coming. Notice this now. Notice this. They were not expecting a backlash of this magnitude at all. They were not expecting it.
Yes, they have a role.
And they're scared to death. They are. They are scared to death. And because they are scared to death, right? They don't know what to do. They have no clue what to do. They have no idea what to do. You should see them running around here like chickens with their heads chopped off. It's gotten bad. And needless to say, your preachers are not going to pay to preach this. That is where I come into play. All right, watch this. Here we go.
Yes, they have responsibility, but as a man, as a leader, to say I can't fix this shit unless she changes, that's not the definition of a man.
I don't see. I think we're not on two different accords. Like, I don't think we're saying that. What I'm saying is I'm capable of being that leader, that provider. I've worked hard in my life. We tell black men that we have to now deal with masculine women with children.
Why is she masculine? Because she's had to raise the kids alone. Not one
in my life is a masculine woman that has kids by other men.
No.
That's what I have to forward to.
But I'm telling you, mistakes made by black men systemically gave rise to the conditions that allowed her to be masculine and made her end up with a man that you consider to be less than what he should be. Yes, they have a role. Yes.
That was self-inflicted. We had nothing to do with that. That was self-inflicted. You understand? That was self-inflicted. We had nothing to do with that. We had absolutely nothing to do with that. That was self-inflicted. We did. Listen. I'm gonna say it again. We did not. I repeat, we did not put a gun to your head and force you to force us out of the house. See? Matter of fact, let me get to your observation before I make my next observations. Daniel P. says a lot of these prison guards are down low too. Thus, they allow a lot of the great men there. Yeah. That's true too. There are a lot of Fleece Johnsons in the world. Brother Lee says, I always tell black women, stop being afraid of dying alone. White Jesus is your husband, right? God. You can die with Caesar Borgia at your side. They have always said, Jesus is my husband. Oh, boy. You know what's so sad? What makes it so sad is that it's the truth. No lies are told. Brother Sam says these black women are running around like zombies. They are desperate, man. They're desperate. They're desperate. Brother Sam's up. Brother Deacons, Brother Barron says, not at all. Brother Sam says she needs to find that man. Yes, she do. But guess what? That's like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Daniel P says, brothers being a passport bro is a sure sign of masculinity that we are exercising and they don't like it. That simp control chip over black men has malfunctioned and broke. The simping is over. The jig is up. Well said. Well said. Brother Lee says, if the black men have the power to make black women choose wrong, then how come black men don't have the power to make black women choose right? Dum da dum dum. Dum da dum dum dum. To Kanye face. Oh God. Oh boy. But let me say this. Do you not see the domino effect here? I see nothing but a domino effect of curses after curses after curses. Let's review, shall we? April 4th, 1968. That's when Dr. King was assassinated, not by an assassin's bullet, but he was actually suffocated to death in the hospital. But that's another subject for a different time. 2 years after Dr. King's assassination, in 1970, that is when we began to see the rise of the single parent household. Reason being is because the government made the melanated woman an offer she could not refuse. Free housing, free food, the whole shebang, right? Now, here's something else to consider. They also began to deindustrialize, or they began to subtract job opportunities for the melanated man. Okay. And as a result of that, free food, free housing, but no male figure, better yet, no father in the house. No father in the house. In 1973, that is when they began to make abortions legal. Since 1973, over 60 plus million babies was aborted, right? Since 1991, over 1,300 of our beautiful melanated babies was aborted. Why? Because of the domino effect of the ill-advised choice, right, of the melanated family. And without strong father figures in the house, guess what? Now you have less masculine men and more effeminate acting males than ever before. And I deliberately pulled up this news article so you all could see this for yourselves. So, and I'm going to bring it on home in just a few minutes. Just bear with me. I'm not going to be on much longer. But I had to bring up all of these pieces of evidence to set up my closing arguments. Now, it says, according to news1.com, Dr. Umar Johnson's interview sparks viral debate about Black relationship dynamics. The Daily Wrap Up Crew podcast broached the topic of Black men and women and the Black family structure, prompting varied reactions from Black Twitter. And needless to say, Black Twitter has become very, very disgruntled. Very disgruntled, very upset. They strongly oppose and they strongly revolt against his thoughts. I'm not going to read the entire article, just bits and pieces of it. An interview with Dr. Umar Johnson has not only gone viral in part because of the noted Pan-African psychologist's views he shared addressing the dynamics of heterosexual relationships between Black people. The interview with the Daily Wrap-Up Crew podcast was published on YouTube last Friday because the interview was actually on June 21st and featured its host peppering Johnson with questions on various topics that included, but were not limited to, self-hate in the Black community, President Barack Obama's 2 terms in office, slavery, voting, HBCUs, and reproductive rights. What did Umar Johnson say? At the end of the day, if I'm going to call myself a man, the ultimate responsibility for the reconstruction of the Black community rests with me, Johnson told the Daily Wrap-Up Crew podcast's 3 hosts. Yes, black women have a role. Yes, they have responsibility. But as a man, as a leader, to say, I can't fix this ish unless she changes, that's not the definition of a man. Let me explain something to you. If anyone thinks that a melanated man should just stick around and continue to take the perpetual abuse that the melanated man has suffered for 5 decades, you are out your damn mind. You're out your mind. Dr. Shahrazad Ali, she has been addressing the melanated woman's part in the destruction of the melanated family as well. All right, let me go ahead and read the rest of this article and get ready to wrap things up, because I'm running out of time. Why is she masculine? Because she had to raise the kids alone. Once again, that's self-inflicted. I'm telling you, mistakes made by black men systematically gave rise to the conditions that allowed her to be masculine and made her end up with a man that you consider to be less than he should be. And I'm telling you, black men are responsible for her being masculine because we have not helped her raise them children. Johnson continued. The black woman has been the be all in our community for half a century. And now we want to turn around and say she didn't do it perfectly enough or remained feminine enough when she had to absorb our responsibilities plus her own. He also said black women were wrongfully being blamed for the actions of black men. And we are complaining about the women who are making babies with the irresponsible men that we black women didn't raise correctly. That's bullshit. That's wimp ass, weak man ish. Take responsibility for our ish. Stop scapegoating them, black women. No, Dr. Johnson, you just need to stop being a kleptogamist. Because everything that you're saying, sir, it was self-inflicted by the melanated woman. You are not going to get me to sit here and concur with your thoughts. Absolutely not. You are not going to get me to concur with you. Sorry. Not happening. You can forget it. Forget it. You are not going to get me to concur with you, sir. No. You see, the fact is, that is the language of a male feminist to me. That is the language of a male kleptogamist. And since you are such a staunch supporter of melanated women, sir, let me ask you a question. Are you married to a melanated woman yourself, sir? Since you're championing your since you're championing the cause of melanated women, are you married to one? Because according to research, you have, and I've actually heard this from your mouth, you have 2 children. You have 2 daughters. The oldest one is 20 years of age, and your youngest baby is 11. Now, let me ask you a question. How involved are you in their life? Because from what people have been saying all over the internet, you, sir, are 2-time baby daddy. And you have been an absentee father for both of your daughters' lives, sir. You have. You. And because you are a 2-time baby daddy and not a husband, right? Why haven't you put a ring on a black woman's finger? Since you are their champion, since you are championing their cause, right? You continue to champion their cause and you take upon their talking points. What you do? What you do? What you do? Why you not marry them? And you're talking about that melanated men should not be with snow bunnies and melanated women should not be swimming in the milk, meaning being with the white man and all this kind of thing. Let me ask you a question, Dr. Johnson. Have you been swimming in the milk? Because if you have been swimming in the milk, because neither one of your baby's mothers I'm just saying. And see, here's the thing. Dr. Johnson is no dummy. He's no dummy. Don't think for a moment that Dr. Umar Johnson is a dummy. He's not. That man is one of the best intellectual juggernauts that understands the plight of melanated peoples in this country. He has thoroughly, methodically, effectively have been able to articulate, pronunciate, and enunciate and pontificate the situation that has always confronted us as melanated peoples. That man is no dummy. And I'll be the first one to tell you that even I myself have learned a great deal from Dr. Johnson. And from time to time, I will use his talking points. I admit it. But for him to come on their platform and to blame melanated men for the behavioral patterns of the compromised melanated woman, when in essence it was her self-inflicted decisions. that transformed her or forced a metamorphosis on her part to be like she is now. And so for Dr. Johnson to say that melanated men are responsible for the choices of the melanated woman, you know how foolish that sounds? I'll give you an example. That's just like Brother Barron blaming Brother Daniel for me putting a gun to Brother Lee's head and telling Brother Lee, all right, you SOB, give me all your MFing money, and I want it now. Because if you don't, I'm going to put a bullet in your head and turn your head into Swiss cheese, motherfucker. You see how stupid that is? I'm threatening Brother Lee to rob him. And if he doesn't give me what I want, I'm going to take this man's life. And instead of Brother Barron blaming me for my heinous act and my heinous crime, Brother Barron's going to blame Brother Lee? He going to blame Brother Daniel? No. 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 Come on now. I mean, look. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but damn it, I'm far from the dullest. Come on, man. I've held y'all long enough. So I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. I'm going to say this and I'm out of here. The reality is that even within our own community as men, we rarely have any true alliances. We rarely have any true and legitimate allegiances. Think about it. And one of the reasons why we rarely have any kind of allegiance amongst our own brethren is all about money. It's all about pandering for the peace sleeve. And it's no longer about what is right because we have lost our moral compass. We've lost our moral compass. We've lost our moral compass. See, kleptogamists, ladies and gentlemen, are dangerous simps. Kleptogamists are dangerous. Why are they dangerous? They're dangerous because they know for a fact that if I pander for a woman and I say the right things, albeit is wrong, and I say what they want to hear, I'm going to make a profit out of them being a dumbass. Kleptogamists that are high-level panderers of peace leave, they are lethal and they are dangerous. Why? What makes them so dangerous? Because they understand the psychological apparatus and hygiene of these compromised dames. And not only are they making profits off of their stupidity and their ignorance and their panic and their anxiety for a man, this is the end result. And a kleptogamist who is a male feminist will speak the lingo or the language of a feminist fluently. And furthermore, when you have a man that speaks the language of a feminist, he is a King Kong pandering kleptogamist. He's dangerous. He's dangerous because he understands the psychological apparatus as well as the psychological hygiene of these compromised women. He understands how they think. He knows and he understands that they are going to be the biggest consumer of the BS that he is selling. He's a kleptogamist. But he's no dummy. But I'm going to tell you something else too. Him, Derek Jackson, Steve Harvey, those men are not dumb. They're crooked as a barrel of rattlesnakes, but they are not dumb. He ain't dumb. Absolutely not. He is not dumb. Dr. Umar Johnson, Derek Jackson, Steve Harvey. Those three men, those three males, I should say, they're not dumb. They're very intelligent. They're very shrewd businessmen. They're making money off the ignorance and stupidity of the toxic dame. I'm going to acknowledge your observations and throw in one or two more observations of my own, and we out of here. Brother Barron says he must have got that speech from his three women. You know something, Brother Barron? I wouldn't doubt it. Because those are certainly the talking points of a feminist, without question. Those are certainly the talking points of a male feminist, a kleptogamist. And I cannot stress this enough. They are extremely dangerous because they understand, they comprehend very well the mindset, the hygiene, the apparatus psychologically of these. Extremely dangerous. And that's what makes them so lethal. They understand how to bring out their innermost desires of these dames. They get it. Daniel P. says, a group of black women running the streets at night, 2:30 in the morning, wilding out, club hopping, looking for the very same men they complain about, turning down every good man they come across, but pick the thug bums, scammers, abusers, murderers, and so forth, then get mad when they find it and have the nerve to cry victim. Shake my head. Yeah. See, Again, we are all eyewitnesses to the downfall of society. And when you and I and others of us that are eyewitnesses to the downfall of society, that also means it is the downfall of the psychological apparatus and hygiene, the emotional apparatus and hygiene, as well as the spiritual and salvific apparatus and hygiene of all peoples involved in a civilization. This is not rocket science, folks. This is reality. And this is what's happening. The downfall of the mind is equivalent, or is the Siamese twin of the downfall of society. My apologies, I had it backwards. The downfall of any society is the Siamese twin of the downfall of the mind. Brother Sam says factual. Brother Barron says yes, and he's a great manipulator also to the weak minded. Exactly. You get it. That's what makes him so dangerous. He gets it. You get it. Brother Daniel says these women have been known. These men are no good and stay lay up and keep producing children by them. So how are you a victim of abandonment when you chose a man that you knew full well was going to do it in the first place? F out of here. You know why? I tell you why. I tell you why. Hey, Brother Robert, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Brother Barron. Thank you for always tuning in. Brother Lee says that is true. He says all about money to them. Yeah. Brother Robert says those guys are the treacherous three. They make their living off of melanated women's emotions and feelings. There you go. That is why it makes them so dangerous. It makes them so lethal. See, y'all get it. Brother Barron, Brother Lee, Brother Daniel, Brother Robert. Y'all get it, man. Y'all get it. Everything that you have said, you understand. You may not have gone in depth like I've gone in depth tonight, but here's the deal. We all understand or have a glimpse of an understanding and comprehension of how they think and operate. I'll say again, these men are no dummies. We know what's up. They know what's up. Yeah. We know what's up. Of course. Now, here's something else that I'm gonna throw out there with y'all. I'm gonna throw this out here with you, and then we're out of here. Now, let me put up this observation by Daniel P. right quick, and we're gone. All right. Now, look at what Daniel P. just said. Look at what Daniel P. just said. He said, these women been, which means they already knew these men are no good, and still lay up and keep producing children by them. Let's stop right there. Gentlemen, if you really would like to know why these women go after these men that are lesser than themselves, put a number 1 in the comment thread again, and we're out of here. I'm gonna share this with you, and I'm out of here. If you want to know why, right? These women go after men or males that's not like us. Put a 1 in the chat. I'm gonna share this, and I'm out of here. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to tell you why, and I'm out of here. This is going to shock the daylights out of you, I believe. But here's the reason why they're able to do this. It's simple. The reason why they're able to do this so easily is because, psychologically speaking, this is not checkers. This is chess. Okay? These women, as goofy as they are, they're not so goofy until they don't know a real man when they see one. Okay? They know good and well that when they run across a man and not a male, when they run across a man like myself, Brother Barron, Brother Robert, Brother Lee, Brother Daniel, and others, they know full well they cannot control us. We're not going to be their puppet on a string. But do you know who they can control like a puppet on a string? Those prisoners, the so-called Pookies and Ray Rays. Those are the ones that they can control. And they can control them like a puppet on a string. It's all about control. It's all about power. You understand? It is all about power. That's what it's all about. Power. It is all about power. Not influence. Power. Women love men they can control. And they hate men they can't control. Their attitude is, nigga, you need me. I'm the only woman that wants you. I'm the only peace lead that you can get. Nobody else wants. It's all about power. But see, here's the twist. Here's the checkmate. Want to know what the checkmate is? Here it is. The checkmate is those prisoners are bigger cheaters than the women themselves, because the women that they are with, that they're corresponding with, guess what? She's a part of a rotation. Yeah. She's a part of a rotation. The prisoner is thinking to himself, all right, I got this hole over here for my books and my money. I got this hole over here for my doggone food and my cigarettes. I got this hole over here to give me some head. She's a part of a rotation. That's the checkmate. But they don't know it. Y'all saying she knows it? You know what? She does know. I think you're right. I began to respectfully disagree, but I thought about it. I said, you know what? Y'all are right. You brothers are right. You know why y'all are right? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you this. Listen, I got to go to work, y'all. Y'all got to stop provoking my thought now. I got to go to work in the morning. I'm going to say this and I'm gone. And here's another hidden reality, as quiet as it's kept. Yeah, y'all provoking my thought, man. I gotta get up early in the morning. I'm gonna say this and I'm gone. Shit. Yeah. Look, watch this. Here's a hidden reality. The hidden reality is, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, y'all are right. A woman does know that she's part of his rotation. But here's the twist. Albeit she knows, she wants it to be kept hush hush. Because the very second that she finds out that she is part of a rotation and is no longer hush hush, that's when she begins to raise $1 billion worth of hell. See, these women, they know for a fact that they are part of a rotation. Yeah, she knows, but she wants it kept hush hush. Listen, a lot of these women, they love to be in polygamous relationships. They love being the side chicks. They love being the go-to for that man to put his Johnson, his manhood inside her when the main chick ain't doing right. They love being in that role. They love being in that supporting casting role. They love that ish. They do. But as long as it is quiet and kept on the down low, there's not going to be any problems. But when it's out in the open, here comes World War III. They love that. Daniel P. says he is no better than these wet butt preachers in these churches using big words like he's saying something deep and important. It only works on the weak-minded. They're using words of witchcraft on the spiritually weak people. No lies are told. Daniel P. continues, a lot of these dudes been told and show these women what they are about, and they still lay up with them cause it's fun and cry when it no longer is. Y'all are so blasted hard-headed. I told y'all to stop provoking my thought, man. I got to go to work in the morning. Look. Y'all not going to keep me on here all night long. I'm going to say this and I'm gone. Attention is one hell of a drug. Attention is not only one hell of a drug, but they foolishly think that this is going to last forever. Forever, ever, 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 ever. And because when they cry, like Daniel P. just said, when it's over with, guess what? Then they gonna raise $1 billion worth of hell about all that. And those are the kinds of women that Dr. Johnson panders to. Those are the same kinds of women that Dr. Umar Johnson panders to. And the very same kind of women that Dr. Johnson panders to, guess what? Those are the real pick-me's. Pay attention. I don't like y'all. Y'all are provoking my thought. I got to get off. A certain kind of woman, a certain kind of demographic, Dr. Umar is not going to pander to. He's not going to even address. He's not going to address the so-called pick-me's like a Marla Johnson or Nadia or Marjorie or Fatima or Giselle or Danica Marie or Six the Goddess. No. You're not going to, you're not. You are not going to have Dr. Umar Johnson pandering to women that are wifey material. You're not going to have. Hey, Marie, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. You're not going to have Dr. Umar pandering to women like Marie either, because all of the women that I mentioned are wife material. Dr. Umar's not going to pander to y'all. Dr. Umar ain't going to pander to y'all at all. Not happening. Because he knows for a fact that women like y'all that I made mention of, y'all are not weak-minded. Your spiritual, psychological, and emotional apparatus and hygiene is intact. And because he knows all three are intact, you pose a threat to his munties, which brings me to this point. You know what? Let me just stay on until 2 hours because y'all get on my nerves. Stop provoking my thought. Whenever you find a kleptogamist, see, a kleptogamist knows who's a weak-minded female versus a strong-minded woman. Notice the words that I used. Notice the words that I used. A kleptogamist knows a weak-minded female versus a strong-minded woman. Let me sip my alkaline water. I'm gonna be on here for 2 hours and I'm going to bed. Not before I talk to my lady. You're right, Brother Robert. I may have to do a part 2 on this because I got some hard-headed followers. Won't leave me alone. Keep provoking my thought. Yeah. Yeah, good to see you, Sister Marie. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything is well with you and your husband and your family. What Umar done? What has Umar done now? Did now besides takes money, people's money, pandering for weak-minded women, weak-minded females, and we have been pinpointing out what makes Dr. Umar Johnson speak the language of a kleptogamist, aka a male feminist. Glad to know that. Glad to know that. Glad to know that. Daniel P. says, these women will leave men in their relationship that was peaceful and good, never have an argument, not even once, only to leave for drama, chaos, for finding it in another man that complain when they're mistreated. Shake my head. Brother Daniel, I'm glad you said that. All right, folks. Y'all cannot continue to provoke my thought now. I'm going to wrap this up. I know this is good stuff, but for goodness sake, I got to get up in the morning. I got close to 1,000 pieces of luggage that I got to contend with early in the morning. So I got to wrap this up. But look, by what Daniel P. just explained, do you know that there's a certain name for a woman like that? If you want to know the name of that kind of female, put a 1 in the chat. I'm about to wrap this up for real. I appreciate the dialogue. I appreciate the feedback. Well, spiritually, she's a Jezebel, yes, but scientifically speaking, if you want to know the name of that kind of woman that is described in Daniel P.'s observation, put a 1 in the chat. I'm gonna wrap this up, and I got to get out of here. There's a scientific name for a woman like this. I'm almost done. Would y'all like to know the scientific name? If so, put a number 1 in the chat so I can wrap it up. There's a scientific name for a woman that Daniel P. just described. And when I tell you the name of this, I want you to look this up. That's your homework assignment. I see the ones flowing in. All right. The scientific terminology utilized for a woman, or a female rather, that Daniel P. just described, she's called a hybristophiliac. I know that's a mouthful, but she's called a hybristophiliac. What the hell is a hybrid? What? A hybristophiliac. A hybristophiliac is a female that is sexually attracted and is sexually aroused by a violent criminal. She is aroused, she gets moist, she gets turned on by a vicious and violent criminal. In other words, i.e., in contemporary language, contemporary vernacular, in layman's terms, she likes Pookies and Ray Rays. Now, because she's a hybristophiliac, you have to understand A female that is a hybristophiliac, she comes from inferior genes, meaning that she is dysgenically bred. She's dysgenically bred, meaning she comes from an inferior gene. See? That is why when she turns her nose up at a man that wants peace and tranquility, because her genes, her genetics, her DNA tells her that peace and tranquility is boring. Go up and start drama, cause chaos, engage in hellish activities, dare say even life-threatening situations, because she's acting out her genetics. And these are the kinds of women that Dr. Johnson panders to. So for Dr. Johnson to say that melanated men are to blame for how masculine she is, that's self-inflicted once again, because she does not want to be a compliment to the man. She wants to be his competition. And once again, all of this, every single bit of this, every single bit of this has been a part of her downfall. Every single bit of this. Every single bit of this. Every bit of this has been self-inflicted. Every single bit of this. Every single bit of this. Every single bit of this. Self-inflicted. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's right. And because he understands how they think, how they act, how they are, that's why he panders to them. Lady Marlet, Sister Marie, you two ladies are two women that Dr. Umar will never pander to. He sees y'all walking up the street, he's crossing the other side. He is what I like to call a sophisticated scammer. Him, Derek Jackson, Steve Harvey, those are sophisticated scammers. Period. And he will never, ever will be caught dead pandering, trying to scam money out of women and ladies like yourselves. Lady Marla, Fatima, Nadia, Giselle, Marie, Marjorie, all the rest of y'all. Dr. Umar sees y'all running. Any kleptogamist sees y'all running. They cross it. Anytime they see y'all walking down the street, they crossing to the other side. And with that said, folks, I rest my case. Lord have mercy, I'm tired. I'm done. Whew, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. All right. That's it, folks. That's all I got for y'all. Y'all wore me out, man. I like to thank each and every one of y'all for listening. I appreciate your participation. I hope you got something out of it. On the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. Peace and blessing be upon y'all. Until next time, the clock on the wall. It's been a ball, but the clock on the wall says that's all for now. I'm your man, Yosef X. That's been my 2 cents. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Y'all have a good night. Peace. I'm out. Not this time. No water break. Next time. I'm out.